back on this shit and I didn't have the streaming going. God damn it, that's rarely happened. Probably never before. What the fuck?
Feelings are hurt, and she begins arguing with these officers. And this is about to get way worse than just a trespass. And guys, I know you caught the look on that officer's face when she was counting the money. Because I did, and I believe he knew where this situation was headed. And I truly believe people do not understand how fast you can end up in handcuffs just by simply refusing to leave. And to be crystal clear, guys, in Ohio, you can be arrested for criminal trespass when you're on the land or premises of another and you fail or refuse to leave upon being notified by signage posted in a conspicuous place or otherwise being notified to do so by the owner or occupant or the agent or servant of either. This was only the beginning, but as she was being escorted out and transported, she shows her true self. And police do come in contact with these types often, because she then needs one officer in his groin. And honestly, that actually made me wince. And these officers were actually amazing. And honestly, this footage should be used in officer training to show how patient and self-controlled that they were. Now, in the end, guys, this footage actually spoke for itself. And in my book, she deserved every charge that she received, because the officers gave her multiple chances to leave on her own. But let this serve as a reminder, whether you're on the clock or off, how you respond to police in the moment can be the difference between freedom or felony charges. Be safe, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
You know, it's difficult because nobody should have a situation escalate like that. In that manner, it's just pointless. And whether or not it started initially as just belligerence or, you know, racial disparity, which is hometown bred, or of some other previous or non-previous altercation. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que fait?
Miramar Police Department.
Yeah.
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm looking for my sister to go over there. What happened? What happened?
I just need to speak to you over here for a second.
Oh, Lord.
Right now there's an investigation, and I guess it's your daughter.
Yeah, that's my daughter.
Your daughter, her name, Imad. So we have to keep everybody out of Margaret.
Police arrived at the home of 17-year-old Christy Parisian, where her mother was informed that Christy had become involved in a strange and violent incident. About an hour earlier, officers had discovered the body of an 18-year-old boy named Dwight Grant near a nearby apartment complex, brutally stabbed to death.
Can you guys go back inside for me? Can you go back inside, please? Don't just do as I ask, please.
Officers have been taken into custody in the murder of 18-year-old Dwight DJ Grant.
After a body was found there, local 10 Agent Perez is live
for this 18-year-old from Miramar High School, and instead, officers found a body.
As new clues surfaced and the investigation continued, police uncovered a hidden conflict between Dwight and 3 of his classmates from Miramar High School. Now officers needed to track all 3 of them down as quickly as possible to figure out what had really happened, what each of their roles was, and more importantly, why. But what detectives were about to learn about how this murder happened, why it happened, and just how complicated it truly was, turned out to be far more shocking than anyone expected.
You can't get away with nothing! There's cameras everywhere.
Everything started on a Sunday evening. On October 17th in Broward County, Florida, a nurse named Malene Emile noticed something was very wrong. Her 18-year-old son, Dwight Grant, who most of his friends called DJ, hadn't come home that day. DJ wasn't the kind of kid who disappeared without saying anything. He was responsible, focused on school, and always kept his family informed. His sudden silence was completely out of character. This was the beginning of a terrifying mystery for his family. No matter how hard they tried, no one could get in touch with DJ. He wasn't answering calls, he wasn't with any of his friends, and no one had seen him. By Monday morning, the worry exploded. DJ didn't show up to any of his classes, something that never happened. His teachers noticed immediately, his friends noticed, and his family knew something was seriously wrong. His family and friends checked every place he might have gone, called every person he might have been with, drove through neighborhoods, handed out flyers. Nothing. Police even went to the high school, hoping someone there might know where he'd gone. Officers spoke to students one by one. At this point, even the smallest detail could be the clue they needed.
Anxiety, depression, so like he would
He has anxiety?
No, I have
Okay, so he will check on you. Do you know the girl that he's talking to or trying to talk to?
No.
Does he have a girlfriend?
Not to my knowledge, no.
No? Okay. All right. So you haven't seen him? What's up, man? No, everything good? Okay. Okay, so you haven't spoken to him since. Is this his behavior? Like, does he do it? He's a good kid?
He's a good kid. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He goes out. He has a plan. He goes out with his friends. He calls literally all of us all the time to let us know, like, what's up, how you are.
Okay. All right.
To everyone who knew him, DJ was quiet, calm, and spent most of his free time gaming. He wasn't the type to get into fights, he didn't cause trouble, and he had zero history of reckless behavior. Nothing in his past suggested he'd ever disappear or end up involved in something dangerous. The search for DJ continued through Tuesday of that same week. Then, around 2 p.m., while officers were canvassing the area near Sherman Circle North, a quiet neighborhood in Miramar before all this, they made the worst discovery imaginable. Hidden in the bushes beside an apartment building, police found the body of a young man. The body was found just outside the apartment building where DJ lived. All that time, he had been there, right near his own home. Officers were led to the body by scattered bloodstains on the sidewalk. From an initial examination, the body had 2 fatal wounds, one to the neck and one to the chest. A knife was also found nearby, hidden in the bushes next to the body.
Can you go back inside, please? Don't. Just do as I ask, please. In a few minutes, an officer will come talk to you. Go back inside. Listen, I can't answer anything right now. I just need you to go inside the apartment and stay there till I can get somebody to speak to you, please. Listen, what did I just ask? Just give us a few minutes and somebody will come and talk to you. Just give me a few minutes. Go ahead and go inside.
After speaking with DJ's family and asking them to remain patient, officers immediately blocked off the area surrounding the body and began processing the scene for evidence. 4 officers were on scene working to secure the area, search for evidence, and confirm the identity of the victim as quickly as possible.
Aquí abajo. Sí. Ahí abajo del stairwell que está ahí había mucha sangre, inclusive probablemente están tratando de limpiarlo. Hay una cámara aquí, hay 2 cámaras aquí y hay una cámara en esa esquina donde lo tiraron. On Sunday, he went missing Sunday.
Miramar is a quiet, close-knit community where news spreads fast. So when word got out about the brutal discovery of an 18-year-old's body, tips started pouring in almost immediately. Several people came to police headquarters, hoping the information they had might help. Among them was a woman who walked into the lobby holding her teenage niece's phone. She wanted to tell police about a private group chat that had caught her attention. At the time, officers had no idea that this small piece of information would end up being the key to solving the entire case.
Can you give me a brief rundown? I'm so sorry.
I know I've seen on the news that they found a body over by Sherman Circle, and they keep showing a picture of it because it goes to Miramar High, saying they can't guarantee that it's him, basically, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But on my niece's phone, all the texts are coming through that they're friends. There's people from school there, and they know it's him. I just came here because my niece was telling me that she had got these texts from this girl yesterday from her modeling, and she said it was the most traumatizing day of her life when she seen him yesterday, which would have been Sunday.
Yeah.
So in my mind, 1 and 1, I'm not saying she did anything, but I'm not saying I can't come here and not show you either because she speaks what she's saying, tells everybody in how many people she's killed, and she's in the game what she.
I mean, it could be just to be, you know, the cool or to be tough.
But you never know.
Like, you know, same thing. I don't want the text messages here. I don't want them to show my nieces. I don't want her
like her to associate with. Okay.
By the next day, Wednesday, the victim's identity was finally confirmed. The body belonged to DJ Grant, the Miramar High School student who had been reported missing.
And Nicole, there are still so many more questions than answers at this hour. Our officers came out here because they were helping the search for this 18-year-old from Miramar High School, and instead, officers found a body in the bushes.
Now, police had to start putting the broken pieces of the puzzle together. The evidence from the crime scene, and more importantly, the group chat that the woman had brought to them. Inside the chat, police found disturbing messages linked to 3 teens, 3 names that, within hours, would become central to the investigation. 17-year-old Andre Dexter Clements, 16-year-old Jaslyn Smith, and 17-year-old Christy Parisian. Without wasting any time, officers began tracking them down. Christy was the first person police went to.
Miramar Police Department. How you doing, ma'am?
So, right now there's an investigation, and I guess it's your daughter.
Yes, my daughter.
What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to keep you out of the house for now.
Me?
Yes. Nothing that has to do with you, personally, but we have to keep everybody out of our things. If there's anybody else in there that's in there,
My little sister, she's at work right now.
but nobody else is inside.
No, only three of us.
Yes, she's around, okay.
So, we have detectives that are gonna get a search warrant. Okay? So right now, we're just gonna make sure nobody's inside, and then we're gonna close the door. And then we're gonna wait for the warrant to get here. And then,
When I come back, when I come back,
so use your dad. Search warrant.
today, can I take my phone to call my sister? Is it okay? Take my phone? My phone is right there. Can I call her? Because I'm looking on her.
Well, right now at this point, we already gave you, notice that nobody can go back inside.
Can you take my phone from me? This is right there. By the way, you see my phone right there?
We really gotta follow protocol.
At this point, officers didn't have a warrant, so they wouldn't allow Christy's mother to go inside the house. She waited outside with them until another law enforcement member arrived with a warrant. While they were waiting, she told them that earlier that day, Christy had left her a voice message about the murder. Because of that, they changed course and retrieved the phone so the message could be played. By now, the police had already spoken with Christy at the station. Her mother wasn't able to provide any additional information. The officers informed her that no one from the family was allowed to leave.
So are you gonna be around here, or are you sticking around here, or are you leaving?
Leaving where?
You're not going anywhere, right?
No, I was going to the police station.
No, I mean right now.
I'm looking for my sister to go to the police station because my sister drives.
The next person on the list was Jaslyn Smith. The officers tracked her down and managed to find her around 11 p.m. that same night. Outside her family's apartment, they spoke with her while her mother was present.
Did you hurt this person? No, I didn't. Because I didn't hit you or anything. I was just told Christian and they didn't say it in the home.
I don't know exactly what happened. You're telling me that you were told to do something? I don't know what you did. I don't know what you didn't do.
She said that she was told to keep him in the corner.
Andre. Okay.
Snitching time. They even got her KFC.
Andre told me that somebody had pissed him off. That somebody was messing with somebody else's girl or something. It had to do with some type of chick. And that he was upset and that he needed some backup for his fight. He told me it was just about to fight.
Jaslyn had been told to trap DJ in the stairwell. Andre needed backup for the fight, which was apparently over a girl, Andre's ex, who was now involved with DJ.
You guys don't have to stay here. You do not have to talk to me.
You're gonna arrest my child.
I'm not going to arrest your child. I want to hear what she has to say, but I wanted to reiterate because I said it to you and she wasn't here.
He told me dress up in all black and follow him.
Andre?
I want to do that and everything. He just said, do this for me. Just help me out with a fight and we're fine. We walked all the way there. And we walked up the stairs. And Chrissy was there. Chrissy had...
How do you get told to dress up in all black and follow someone and not recognize that you're a goon? How do you not recognize that you're a fucking Riddler goon or a Joker goon?
Seduced him from what I know. I was trying to just pretend and forget that it didn't happen. I already knew that if something like this was going to happen, I already knew the cops were going to show up sooner or later. And I already started preparing myself for the worst, Mom. What do you mean by preparing yourself for the worst? If they send me away, Mom.
According to her, the mastermind behind the whole murder was Andre. He even picked out the colors of the clothes, and the plan was just a fight. Jaslyn clearly tried to downplay her own role and choices. But over the next half hour, the officers, and even her mother, would unintentionally learn the truth from her words, shocking them to their core. Things her 16-year-old daughter had done were far beyond what her mother could have imagined. Detectives were still putting the pieces together with no clear reason to make an arrest. But Jaslyn knew what was coming. She knew there was no escape, and she had already prepared herself for the worst.
Because by everything I've already said, I'm an accomplice, and I know this, but I'm sorry.
I can't. Come here.
The female officer at the scene can be seen briefly laughing when Smith lets out a sigh. But there's nothing funny about what's happening. A teenager has been killed, and Jaslyn has just admitted her role in what happened. She's now given police a motive. Andre had found himself in the middle of a high school love triangle between DJ and his ex-girlfriend. That's when the dark thoughts started, and the plan began to take shape. A plan that would need help. Before Sunday, before any of this began, Andre had reached out to her. He told her about the planned fight and the help he needed. Now sitting in a police car beside her mother, the officer asks Jaslyn to walk them through everything, step by step, starting from that moment.
So I'd like for you to kind of tell me, step by step, on how everything occurred. You know?
Before Sunday, before he came over.
Who's he?
Andre.
Andre's from school also?
Yes. Before he ever came over until Friday, I believe it was Friday, that he had a situation that he needed to deal with. He was wondering if I could help him out with a fight. Me knowing that I used to fight in elementary and used to be a bad kid-ish outside of school, I'd agreed because he was a good friend of mine and I could just fight. He had said he was going to be coming over around 6. He came over at least 6:45, close to 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And he had proceeded to tell me the whole scenario of, we're gonna get dressed in all black. You're gonna wear clothes that you don't care about. You're gonna wear gloves. You're gonna wear do-rag. I know the whole layout of the building.
Andre already knew that Jaslyn had a reputation for fighting when she was younger. That was exactly why he chose her. He even picked out what Jaslyn should wear, telling her to wear gloves and protect her hair. Jaslyn's account helps clarify the days leading up to the murder, but one thing stands out. She repeatedly tries to downplay her role, presenting herself as someone who was merely influenced rather than involved. A claim that, within minutes, would be completely undermined by a small slip she made.
We had gotten dressed.
I've got to admit, full credit to this creator, Sinister. They've got me with the true crime, you know, little threads that lead to this, to that, to this, to that. This is a lot more than just body cam footage.
Undermined by a small slip she made.
We had gotten dressed. We had prepared. My mom had gotten home. We had told her that we were going to go on a walk. He was explaining to me that the person that me and him were going to fight with, that we were going to seduce, had messed with a girl that he knew and had, essentially from what I know. And on the way there, he's telling me exactly where we're going to walk, exactly how we're going to walk, exactly. We're gonna do that. We're gonna wait for a signal. And I was like, okay, it's just gonna be. But immediately when we got in there, we had walked over to where the staircase was, while he was telling me to move this way to avoid a camera, to avoid things. So we had walked up the stairs while Chrissy stayed downstairs and made a call. Me and him were upstairs. He's just talking to me, we're relaxed, we're chilling. And then he got a signal from Chrissy to walk downstairs. And he had a weapon with him. He told me to hold the weapon. We had gloves on at the time still. We had walked downstairs. We had approached
Disgusting.
the boy.
Sinister is the perfect word.
Did you know this boy? Or no? Okay.
Boy tried to make a run with it, run for it, Chrissy looked at me, and he made a run for it, and I'm like, okay, well, it's just for intimidation. This now. I ran and I helped Andre to tackle him and put him onto the ground.
Jaslyn uses the word weapon. Even though she's detailed and specific in almost every other part of her story, she keeps this part vague. We already know DJ was found with 2 stab wounds, so whatever the weapon was, it clearly wasn't a gun. What that weapon actually was, and why Jaslyn avoided naming it, becomes clear later in the interview. And it's something that will shock you.
Andre asked for the weapon after explaining to him that he was going to kill the other boy. He had asked for the weapon, and I just handed it to him because I'm like, I don't know about this, but I'm like, okay, you're joking. Because me and Andre are playful. We like to mess around and we do like play fighting. We're just very like silly.
Mental gymnastics.
But this time, nothing felt like a joke. The weapon he used, the level of planning involved, his behavior, and the sheer intensity of the violence he unleashed all point to the same conclusion. This was a planned killing, not a spontaneous act.
He proceeded to take out a small weapon and attempt to, and he was failing, and I was just like, okay, I can see it because I'm holding his legs. So I'm in a position where I'm holding both of his legs and I'm wrapping around his under torso, and I just poke right here.
Jaslyn claims she didn't know Andre's full plan, but she did admit that she helped, holding DJ down even after the stabbing began. As disturbing as that is, Jaslyn never stopped or showed regret during the attack, not when DJ was begging for help, not even as he was slipping in and out of consciousness after being stabbed.
And then he had another smaller weapon, and he took that out, and he stabbed him right here. Also, the boy was just like, you're gonna kill me, just choke me out, or like end it, because he kept going in and out.
DJ knew he was dying. Under the pressure and pain he was in, he begged Andre to choke him and end it quickly. Andre ignored him and stabbed him again. After that, DJ went unresponsive, he stopped struggling and tragically died at the scene. In Jaslyn's version of events, she says she was told to do what she was assigned without asking questions. As the confrontation escalated, she says she didn't fight back because she was terrified of what might happen. Throughout her account, she places nearly all the blame on Andre. That explanation mostly holds up until Jaslyn slips up. In the middle of her story, she mentions a detail that seriously undermines her claim that she didn't know this was a murder plan, and instead places her right at the center of it.
Prior to this, he had told me that this was the first person he had ever killed.
Prior to this, he had told you that?
When we were at the house, we were just talking about the whole plan, what was going to happen, but he never told me that he was going to kill somebody until at this time. This is the first person. I leave here, I'll ask Chrissy, I'm gonna leave.
That single detail changes everything. It shows that Jaslyn knew about the murder plan long before it happened. Now her story starts to crack. It directly contradicts her earlier claim that she had no idea this was meant to be a killing. At this point, it's clear she was far more involved in both the planning and the decision than she had admitted. That's when the officer shifts the focus and asks about the weapon used in the attack.
I'm assuming it's a knife then that he had?
There is a knife and there is a
Along the what? A sword. Okay.
A knife is something that can be easily concealed, but a sword isn't. Hiding something like that would be almost impossible. It's hard to believe that Jaslyn and Christy could have been around Andre all that time without noticing the sword. Now detectives finally have enough pieces to start shaping a version of events that's much closer to the truth. But before moving forward, they still needed to make sure the physical evidence matched the story.
So you saw the big sword when he first showed up here in the first place?
I didn't see it exactly. I saw that there was a bag with it, and I was like, okay. Because somebody else had taken everything out of the house behind us, and I didn't know where that was. And I believe it was either in like a jacket with him, or it was Chrissy, an extra jacket, or the bag.
Jaslyn could tell detectives were zeroing in on one key detail. She knew about the sword before they ever left the house, and that meant she knew the plan from the start. She tried to distance herself from it, saying that when they left, Andre grabbed a small knife and a larger sword, but she claimed she didn't actually see the sword at first and assumed it was already in the bag. Detectives weren't convinced. By now, there were too many gaps in her story. The teens believed they had pulled off the perfect crime. They killed someone in broad daylight in a tucked-away stairwell inside a busy apartment complex, avoided security cameras, and left no direct eyewitnesses. If the group chat messages hadn't surfaced later, they might have gotten away with it. But everything started to fall apart after the attack. They dragged DJ's body into the bushes, packed the weapons and supplies into a bag, and returned to Jaslyn's complex. There, they made a serious mistake. In an open, grassy area, clearly visible from nearby apartments, they started a fire and burned the bloody clothes using gasoline. As they sat there, shaken, but still hoping they were in the clear, a security guard spotted them. In that moment, the cover-up ended, and he wasn't the only one watching. Another resident had seen them too and later told police exactly what she saw.
The two girls, they were just standing there, but they weren't moving much. The chubby girl, she was just like moving back and forth, like standing in the same spot but moving a little bit. And then the guy was moving around the fire, just throwing more gasoline. I didn't see their face, but I saw their body shape. And seeing them on the photos, you could picture them, like, especially the chubby girl. You could feel the traumatization from them, and you could feel like they were scared, but you could also feel like they had that energy of the way of thinking like he deserved it. Like you could notice that.
Security camera footage from the apartment complex backed up much of Jaslyn's story. The cameras showed the three teens dressed entirely in black as they approached the stairwell where DJ was attacked. One camera even captured DJ Grant's final moments. Another showed the teens dragging his body toward the bushes exactly as described. But as detectives reviewed everything more closely, cracks began to appear. Parts of Jaslyn's version didn't fully line up. Police seized the teens' phones and went through their messages. It didn't take long to find something that directly contradicted Jaslyn's claim that this was only meant to be a fight. One message revealed the true mindset behind the plan.
White DJ Grant was killed back in October, and for months now, the three teens that are accused in his case have been kept in jail.
All the evidence was clear. Within days, police moved in on all three suspects. Jaslyn Smith, Christy Parisian, and Andre Clements were all arrested. Each of them was charged as an adult. All three were charged with tampering with evidence and conspiracy to commit murder. Christy and Jaslyn were each charged with second-degree murder. Both eventually pleaded guilty and were sentenced to 25 years in prison, followed by an additional 10 years of probation. Andre Clements, who was 17 at the time, was considered the mastermind behind the crime, and the one who delivered the fatal sword strike that killed DJ. He faced the most serious charge, first-degree premeditated murder. On February 18, 2025, Andre Clements, now 20 years old, also pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison, followed by lifetime probation.
Caring, loyal, honest person would be there for you in a second, in a heartbeat.
You have fun fighting somebody with an AR-15 as a tank. already preparing to loosen gun regulations to allow people to use these silencers to make them more available, which, as you can
Because the hunters, their ears were hurting. Because the hunters, their ears were hurting.
If I wanted to fire this on full semi-automatic, all I do is keep firing.
With assault rifles, exit wounds can be a foot wide. The victim is oftentimes, when they're shot in the head, their skulls explode. Arms and legs disintegrate and turn to dust.
Handguns and pistols have different, like, caliber compared to semi-automatics, or automatic guns and semi-automatics. The thing that kid used, like, it was much more of a severe type than, say, no?
This was a just impulsive morning thought, kittens, not guns, since I had the t-shirt.
This right here has ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second.
Tell me what they are. We got rid of knives and bats.
Pistols are different. You have to pull the trigger each time. An assault weapon, you basically hold it, goes.
That's not a right that's given to you by the Second Amendment. There's no right to have an assault weapon. That's a military-style weapon made for no reason but to kill.
So you don't shoot deer with a bullet that size. If you do, you could cook it at the same time.
It's allowing the sale of forced reset trigger devices without a background check. These are devices that effectively convert regular firearms into machine guns.
Why do you need any assault rifles? An assault rifle is different than a gun.
With the flood of these weapons out there and access to these devices that can be used to alter them, to make them into lethal automatic weapons, is so great right now.
I signed a memorandum directing the Attorney General to propose regulations to ban all devices that turn illegal weapons into machine guns.
A 22 caliber bullet will lodge in a lung, and we can probably get it out, maybe able to get it and save the life. A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body.
Why are guns
incredible?
I mean, should we have a Second Amendment for bombs?
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early.
So here's the deal.
HBO Max.
A normal day at the mall turns into a full-on riot. It's Christmas Eve 2021 and the busiest shopping day of the year. Officers were dispatched to an extremely dangerous physical commotion at a shopping mall in Beechwood, Ohio. All of a sudden, one of the suspects involved in the altercation appears outside.
Put your hands up now!
When officers outside order the suspect, later identified as Amari Badur, to sit on the ground so they can detain and search him, he advises them that he has a handgun in his pocket and that he has a valid concealed carry permit.
We're not listening to nothing. Shut your mouth. Keep your hands in the air.
We have one in custody in the south upper deck. Do we have anything else?
Simultaneously, officers are able to gain control of the other suspects inside, in which another male involved in the commotion was also carrying a firearm.
We have a second one detained, copy of 1600. Shots made in front of Pink. I got one detained, one firearm recovered. Because another male had a firearm, jumped in and ran off. I'll take another unit for a female here. I think we have our second suspect detained out here. 2 firearms recovered.
While you'll soon see the full surveillance footage that shows exactly what happened that started all of this, the context provided after the incident is important to be able to fully understand. After searching Badur, officers escort him to a squad car where they speak with him about his side of the story.
Police car right there. So I do got to send a car. Hey, if you're not doing so already, can you start looking for any kind of video we got of this upper level, your pink vans? You want to? You kept pointing at it. What's your shirt? I'll give you this. And I do want that dude to start your life, and I do want you guys to take on the cameras too. So you want to put up a gun or anything like that. If he's pointing a gun at you, any reason you didn't pull your gun? No. Look at the gun. I mean, is there any reason? I mean, you wouldn't be in trouble if you pulled your gun on somebody who's pointing a gun at you. You did not. I got a question though. If he pulled his gun out at me, do I have a problem cause to shoot him? No. Well, it depends. You know that. You know your life is a threat? He cocked the gun back, you feel me? So I took a step back. I don't want to get shot. No, that's why it's kind of because you didn't pull your gun out. If he's pointing a gun at you, you didn't pull it out? Okay. You just too quick or what? God can strike me down right now. That's all that happened? You're going to go off later, man? No issues. Well, not no issues. But you know you ain't supposed to have a gun in there. Take a picture of my face real quick. We'll take pictures. Do you want to press cars on there? How'd you get that up? How'd you get that? He bit you? Okay. You don't want to press charges on that dude at all. On the side of your face? Threatening you for threatening you with a gun. No. Point a gun at you. You don't want to press charges on him. How you know this guy? I don't know him. You know him. You just said you know him from back in the day. Yeah, but I don't know him like some random dude pulls a gun on me and bites me in the face. I'm pressing charges. You ain't gonna do that? That don't make no sense. I don't press charges. That don't make any sense. Make take it that far. That's insane, dude. That is insane.
I had this firearm here. We had one on camera. Okay. He's got his license and he's got his wallet.
Well, very minimum, he's going for trespass. At the very minimum, he's going for the trespass. For the CCW. If you're on mall property and you have a CCW, then it's trespass. You got a bottle of water or something? I don't have it. Oh, man. Some random kid that he knows does not know at all walked up to him, pulled a gun on him, and jumped him for no apparent reason. So this guy's got CCW, he's going for trespass. Said this, he doesn't know who this dude is, never seen him before in his life. Walks up to him out of the blue for no reason whatsoever, says, I'm going to kill you, jumps him, bites him in the face, and pulls a gun on him and puts a gun at him. Doesn't know who he is, doesn't want to press charges. Never seen him before.
You identified him as a guy who came out of the blue.
Well, Debbie said it's all on camera, so I'm going to go watch that right now. Oh, which one? I don't know, I can't remember. We'll check it over the camera. Okay. I'm separating it.
Do you have any?
You good? I'm good. Still. All right, well, I can't remember. I was in between them. I don't know if it's the guy in red or this guy. Just straight up cocked ya or? Straight up cocked. Okay. Just looking right at you, cocked ya. Or were they fighting? Okay. We'll take a look at the camera and see what happens. I'm going to go watch this camera. I'll be back. We have trespassing on both at the very minimum. And there's going to be some other going on, yeah.
Well, are they trespassing for the fire ban?
Trespassing for the firearms.
Right, because the law doesn't have them. Do they both have permits?
Yes. They both have valid permits.
All right. Are they brandishing at each other?
So supposedly both are saying the other person brandished. So I have to go watch that video. This officer took a punch to the face from one of them. Which one? He doesn't know. We're going to go watch the video.
All right.
And,
so it's got everybody in custody and in back seats and in closed, secured cars.
He's got a
line our cars up a little bit.
He's got a bite on right here.
He's got a what?
A bite.
That guy there in cuffs has a bite on his face?
Bite right here, yeah.
You see from who?
Some other guy. They don't know each other. I've never seen each other before.
Looks like the last.
Yeah.
So we have a few guys that's
I don't think we have I think we have everybody. As far as I know.
While we've now heard Badur's side of the story, the report for this incident details accounts from both the opposing male, later identified as Isaiah Shaheed, and the female he was with, Brittany Harris. First, Shaheed told his account. He said he was at the mall with Harris when Badur started talking to them and causing conflict. He stated that Badur insinuated that he had a firearm, and Shaheed told him he also has a firearm and that he will use it to defend himself. He stated Badur and another unknown male started attacking him before running away. Harris then told her account. She stated that they were walking through the mall when Badur walked past and started staring at them. She stated that Shaheed and Badur used to attend school together and had a problem with each other. She stated that she continued.
Let's say you're telling the
account. She stated and that stated that Badur insinuated that he had a firearm, and Shaheed told Shaheed.
So we have a few guys that's
I don't think we have I think we have everybody. As far as I know.
While we've now heard Badur's side of the story, the report for this incident details accounts from both the opposing male, later identified as Isaiah Shaheed, and the female he was with, Brittany Harris. First, Shaheed told his account. He said he was at the mall with Harris when Badur started talking to them and causing conflict. He stated that Badur insinuated that he had a firearm, and Shaheed told him he also has a firearm and that he will use it to defend himself. He stated Badur and another unknown male started attacking him before running away. Harris then told her account. She stated that they were walking through the mall when Badur walked past and started staring at them. She stated that Shaheed and Badur used to attend school together and had a problem with each other. She stated that she continued to stare back at Badur. She said the females that were with Badur and another unknown male started talking to her and getting in her face, threatening to fight her. She said that Badur then got in the face of Shahid, and she attempted to get in the middle of the two to break them up from fighting because she knew they both had firearms on them. She said the females then began to assault her, and she fought back while Shaheed and Badur started to fight. She stated that after the fight was broken up by an officer, all the females and males who were fighting them ran away. Because the two sides of each story aren't lining up, all officers really know at this point is that an altercation between Shaheed and Badur began, which, in turn, also led to Harris getting into an altercation with the two unknown females and another unknown male Badur was with. Even though the full story hasn't been revealed yet, Badur still needs to be taken to the hospital to treat the bite injury that Shaheed.
Next, why do you want to fight in the desert, Dave? Looking at fascists, British flew on Spain, like, you know, loved it. Next, are you here on behalf of your father, sir? I am 19 years old, but so far in this war I've killed 21 men. So judging myself on my age, I judge myself by that number, so in fact you can call me 21. I'm looking to increase that number, and I hear you might be able to help. Go and join those men. Yes, sir. Next, Guardsman Rob Willie of the 8th Commander. Right, how many women have you slept with, Rob? 12, sir. Welcome to the SAS. Thank you, sir. Chalk your eyes, sir. Are you taking the piss? No, sir. Why do you think you are? That's exactly what I'm after. You've never been put.
I got laser.
I found a player building a bridge from South America to the Africa on my Minecraft Earth SMP. He was alone, so I decided to give him some resources and help him finish. We finished the bridge in 7 hours. And I decided to give him a Formula One sports car. I hope he's very happy. We're happy to see you. Step away from the gate. What?
Mark, let's use the secret weapon.
Did you guys hear the leaked audio where the pilots forgot they left the intercom on the plane? One pilot's like, man, I'm kind of hungover. Quick question. Who would you trust more to pilot this plane? Me after 5 cocktails or a female pilot? And the other pilot goes, I would trust you on a I trust you on a heavy dose of fentanyl.
Fire alarm go off? Yeah. Okay. We got a low battery. Okay. Trying to mess with. All right, I got you. So, hear that whistle? Yep. They're all coming. They're all going to show up here in a minute, okay? I just happen to be right around the corner and saw the call. The dispatcher will probably come up and talk to you, but I'm going to let them know they can all slow down a little bit, okay? All right. Thanks, bud. What's up? Yeah, false alarm. Hey, you need to hang out back here, bud, because I can already tell you've been drinking tonight. I need you to be back here. I'm just going to ask you plainly, why are you here if you've been drinking? I can see it on your face. I can smell it now that I'm close to you. I can hear the way you're. Why are you here? It's a fire call, dude. You can't show up when you're intoxicated. You're operating a vehicle right now. What's emergency lights? If you hit somebody, our department gets sued because you're responding on their time. As soon as Joe, that's the plan. As soon as Joe gets here, I'm going to let him know and you're going to go to jail for a DUI. But Chuck, shut your truck off, turn on your lights off. Call him. I don't care who you call. It's not good enough, though, dude. You know that. Yes. You know what, dude? Whatever. I ain't arguing with you. Okay. Go ahead and turn up the hands on the truck then. Fire alarm go off. Simpson sold.
Make out as though you're actually having sex. Something quite funny with David Gunham, who played Faramir, is that he was a terrible rider.
David wasn't a great rider. He's a great guy.
There was one day, I don't know if David Winter remembers this, but we had him on a horse with this big charge going towards Gilead. I was on my horse and he called action, and I was pretty much out of the frame. And his horse just bolted.
He just disappeared.
And apparently it was so bad that they couldn't get all the shots they wanted with him on the horse, and instead had to put him on a fake horse, and the instructions he got on how to actually act while on this fake horse were quite interesting. Make out as though you're actually having sex on the barrel.
I didn't say that. David went fuck this horse with it.
So this being aside,
Whoever you are, General just walked in the room. You're not used to seeing this a wee bit stiff, so Colonel Sterling, what is the meaning of all this? What I am doing here, sir, is giving my professional opinion on your plan. Shared, classified plan of operation without commission.
as I recall from our last meeting, General Montgomery insisted the entire success of the SAS initiative was down to Paddy May. So why wouldn't I share what you still dare to call the plan with him?
All glory to the full information is top secret, 30 miles behind, 36 hours before. It'll make no difference where in France your forces land. My regiment will all be dead by the time you set foot on the beach.
Right.
So, to be clear, you are suggesting that you would disobey a direct order. I would go alone myself, that I would do. But I would not ask my men to come with me, since most of my men are quite keen to live. Whereas I am, at best, equivocal. Whoever you are, Jim.
Citizens, why do you call them voters? I don't know. Because that's what we fucking call them. Who cares? Because we took away their rights. We took away their right to vote, and somebody started calling them voters to lock them to now, you know. Right, so of course you know. Citizens, why do you call them voters? I don't know. Because that's what we fucking call them. Who cares? Because we took away their rights. We took away their right to vote, and somebody started calling them voters to What makes it genius is that the game doesn't give you comfort. It doesn't say, oh, don't worry guys, he's innocent. No, it lets that truth sit there like a shadow. Lee murdered someone, and even the details around that are kind of foggy. Like the game wants you to ask yourself, was it enraged? Was it justified? Or was it just an accident? Lee isn't introduced.
I had a dude shooting at me. He looked like me, but he's yelling, Allah Akbar, God is great in Arabic. That's when you start to think, okay, not only is that Al-Qaeda, that's a Chechen. This is where you save at least one bullet for yourself. I dropped my rock, I sprint over to Tony, and he said, we don't have any ears. And finally Tony,
This was once the refectory where the monks died, but now we use it for a gift. Now just where women relax. Yes.
look, we are men now.
Take me to meet these wild beasts. Hooray! Stop!
Sergeant Jim Alman, sir, one of the commander in North Africa.
What do you think is in it there?
It's very based in an environment.
Jim's could be improved by a bucket, sir. Sergeant, you don't wait to be spoken to before you speak. No, you don't want to speak if you think you've got something to say. That'll improve the mood, sir. And if you all speak at once? Sergeants like fighting each other, sir. Fists and cutlery, isn't that right, lads? Pardon me, sir. Popped on. The mood is indeed improved.
Staff Sergeant Reg Seekings newly promoted. Won the military medal in Sicily.
Encounter after encounter. How are you, Ken?
I'm coping extremely well. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
The Russians.
When samurai prisoners were sentenced to death, they were offered a special tea ritual to make their final moments more peaceful. But the ritual wasn't about the drink itself. It was about proving you could face death with dignity by staying calm through the ceremony. And legends say that if you manage to drink all the tea without spilling a drop of it from a special bowl that makes it impossible to keep the liquid in, gods wanted you to stay alive a little longer, saving you from execution. When samurai large enemy force moving towards your location.
cross-training trick I picked up from my high school football coach. Heavy backpack equals easy cardio. Do it on your own time. Cops don't walk to work. I know LA's not a walking city. I didn't think y'all would care so much how I got myself places. I care when it's an officer safety issue. How much you worry someone gonna jump me for my milk money? No. Or if it's a hardcore criminal business, so a lot of times somebody might sneak behind you and snatch your drug. And I'm putting the drug game into your easy cardio. You're a pretty intense guy. What's your point? You know it's illegal to live in a vehicle parked on the street? Oh, that's what you're suffering. No, I'm just getting the crap out of you. Exactly. You're completely exposed. Not to mention it's against the law, which you're sworn to uphold. Of course. I can't afford to rent a place right now. All right, I've got some debts to pay. That doesn't make it better. Officers in financial trouble are much easier to corrupt. What if someone steals your vehicle, or breaks into it and steals your service weapon, or police equipment inventoried on the spot, which is exactly what I should do right now. No, I don't know what to do.
was responsible.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
Hey, I'm alright. How you doing?
All right. What you up to?
Same as usual. I guess calling to say hi.
Okay, I was just gonna step out and have my coffee. Oh, I gotta make my coffee though first.
Sounds nice.
All right, sweetheart. I love you. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
I hope we get to the doctor soon. Oh. And she's gone. God damn it.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yep, it's me.
Yeah.
I tried telling you before you hung up. I hope we get to a doctor soon. Or somewhere else.
Okay. What somewhere else? What do you mean?
Anywhere but here.
Pardon?
Nothing.
All right. I'll see you in a while.
Responsible for.
Every day's the same.
As, according to this incident's records, was a very serious wound. It was open, already swollen, actively bleeding, and appeared that it would cause temporary or possibly permanent disfigurement.
You getting busy up there? A little bit. Okay, you just get on there. No. Pretty much done.
Pretty much done.
Yeah, I think I saw you this morning.
Yeah. Hello.
This is the male that was bit by the other man. Bro, why'd you come so aggressive, bro?
Huh? Why you come so aggressive?
When we get a call about somebody with a gun at a mall.
I'm pretty sure that you guys don't know how everybody is. So
Exactly. When we get reports of somebody at a mall, and really,
you don't know.
when you're dropping your hands closer to where we think you may have a gun, which you admitted to yourself, thankfully, thank you. But I mean, even 6-inch drop of your arms like that is
I didn't even realize I was dropping.
Reaction time is that's a serious issue. Yes, you were. 100%. Yeah.
I ain't that dumb.
Go ahead and face that door for me. Let me take a picture of your.
I didn't even realize I was dropping my hand.
Yeah, well, as you can see, it's never anything personal, but when it comes to a call like that, and you were, I get it that you may not have thought you were, but you were. Yeah, and not a lot of people do, so I respect that.
Everything's a learning experience, though.
Everything's what?
A little learning experience.
Yeah.
The females then began to assault.
Some days are good, some days are bad. No point in being dishonest about it. Some people care. Some people don't. Shaka.